give a brief explanation of Keysanity if you'd like, Shades.
Well, let's hold that thought for a second as we are underway. We're going to start off with a map to Swamp Palace in Link's house and a 300 rupees here in the Sanctuary chest. Basically, folks, all of the items are randomized. That includes dungeon items, compasses, maps, and, of course, get keys big and small. Compasses have been modified to include how many chests you have available in each dungeon, and maps are modified to let you know which dungeons contain crystals or pendants, which means they are actually a lot more useful than they wouldn't be normal Zelda runs or rando runs in general. And it looks like HexMage here is going to be going ahead and do an early Houlihan run. So this should be interesting to see, get some early money here while Demon heading up to Uncle.
Oh yeah, definitely interesting. The basic tree pull, 80 rupees.
Oh, Moon Pearl from Uncle.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice item. HexMage's Sanctuary start coupled with Houlihan immediately puts him up to 525 rupees, which is a pretty big deal. While it may not be enough for Zora immediately after he goes through Kakariko, it's still a hefty amount.
Very true, and but you never know. He might find enough money in Kakariko to make up for that, so that could put him in good position.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I believe there's something like 50 guaranteed rupees whenever you do a normal clear. Interestingly enough, he's still heading to the town from the south, even though he had the rupee count to stop by the bomb shop if he so chose. Looks like he's doing the standard south route for some, though.
Yeah, well, he could pick up the bombs from that bomb shop, but he could also check a couple other locations here. It looks like Demon's going to be heading up to the Lumberjack check to get some early knowledge whether or not the Aga 1's going to be early required.
Oh yeah, and it looks like he's stocking up on rupees as well, so I don't think rupees will be much of a problem this seed.
Yeah, I did not see what was in the race game, unfortunately, here. Let me go double check here. Oh, just a big 20, it looks like.
Yep, and you got a bush crab dropping the bombs.
Ooh,
so
nicely done.
Yep, it looks like Demon's play from Sanctuary towards the village is going to pay out a little bit more time-wise compared to Hex's.
Yep, and we got a piece of heart in the Lumberjack. We also saw a big 20 in the library, so a lot of the early scares not being a concern here, which is always nice to find. Let's see what HexMage finds here in the tavern. Ooh, we got a small key to Thieves Town. Not bad.
Yeah, that's a fun small key to find, because once you find that big key, you really don't want that chest hanging over your head if you can help it.
No, absolutely. I've seen a lot of trolliness coming down. We got a compass over there in the mushroom spot. Obviously, we don't need that. While maps are a little more helpful for these runners, compasses are pretty useless even with the new changes. And we find Bloomerang in the Forest Thief hideout.
Oh yeah, definitely. I will agree. Compasses are probably the only item most runners will go out of their way to avoid in terms of dungeon ones. Maps. Oh, you're saying?
We just found B-Torp hiding there in the chicken shack there. So we've got our first bottle, which means an early sick kid check. Always nice to get that one out of the way early.
Oh yeah, the fewer trips to the town to check items, the better.
Let's see if that sick kid has anything for us here, and he gives us just a big 20.
I'm gonna have to say rupees are not an issue.
No, we're definitely not looking at a poor seed here. We're definitely going to be in good shape as Demon now heading into the Blind's Hut. HexMage finding a heart container from the bottle vendor. I'd say that's worth $100.
Yeah, early health is definitely somewhat important, just because it gives you a little bit more wiggle room and safety. You have a small key to pod and the blue tunic already, so a little bit of safety early on.
Definitely nice to get that early, so you don't have to worry as much about the bigger bosses in the Dark World there. And ooh, Power Glove! It's indeed so bad.
Power Glove, Moon Pearl. We are a hammer or titans away from Dark World access.
Yeah, I get the sense we won't be seeing an Aghanim run this seed. We may see them go up to the Aga Tower itself, since there are chests up there that are now part of the logic. So that might still come into play, but in terms of Aghanim himself, we probably won't be seeing him this seed.
Nope, it would definitely be an interesting sequence of events to force an Aga for Dark World at this point.
Yeah, find a heart piece there starting off in the well. Let's see what we find here in the back. Another heart piece, a little bit of love hiding out here in the well. Let's see, come on, let's get something good out of this. Let's see, we got a map to Hyrule Castle. That's completely useless. Swagnet! And another map to Eastern. Ooh, that might actually come in handy. We can route that early.
Yeah, that is a nice one to have whenever you find those early Light World maps. And we see a crystal number 7 at Eastern Palace. 1 dungeon known, 9 to go. And I just want to point out, Uncle Ulti's portrait pointed out buying love. Whoever said you could never buy love has never visited the bottle vendor in a rando run.
Indeed. All right, now it looks like both of our owners are going to be crossing each other's paths, covering the stuff that the other's already done. So the question is, which one's going to hit the South Shore first? Because you know you're going to have to check that at some point. Though with only bombs to really work with, it might be something they're a little hesitant to check. You really want to have at least something like the hook shot, or if not a sword, something to check down there.
Yeah, looking at the two of these, Demon would have to buy some bombs. I'm almost hoping one of them goes to the back of Escape first. They have the gloves. It's just a quick walk away from Sanctuary.
That is a very good point. And then if they do find something, they can immediately safe quit and head back to Link's house to check the South Shore. So I think that would be a smart play.
Yep, and here we see HexMage is up to his maximum bomb capacity thanks to Bush Crab. So he'll be in good shape to go pretty much anywhere he wants to.
Now he's going to check Lumberjack here, make sure he doesn't forget about this so he doesn't have to worry about it later. Sees that piece of heart and he says, okay, I'm done.
It looks like Demon's opting to go into the race game blind. Not a bad choice for Keysanity, since it is a high amount of time that you're going to want whatever's there. But unfortunately, he's going to come up empty. And he only has the 1 bomb left.
Yeah, he's going to have to get some more bombs at some point, though. HexMage looks like he's going to take your suggestion unknowingly, and he's heading over to the back of Escape.
Fantastic. It's a quick 3 items. It's well worth doing it before you head to the dam in South Shore.
All right, let's see what he finds here. Bombs the hole. Let's hope for something good here. We have a small key. Actually, it's the small key to Hyrule Castle. We have the hammer and a map to Hera.
Dark World access, 7 minutes, 10 seconds in for HexMage. Now it's a matter of where do you go first?
That's a very good question, though. He is going to go ahead and take the dark room since he got that small key. It is a sequence break, but if it pays off for him, you never know.
It looks like he gave up. Honestly, navigating that room in the dark with the hammer is not something I would choose to do either.
Yeah, I can't entirely blame him here. All right, now it looks like Demon now going to be the first one to head to the South Shore, though it looks like HexMage is going to go ahead and take the hammer, and he's going to do the dungeon area of Escape. That could lead to some good items as well. That's one area that a lot of runners tend to forget early on if they don't have a wings to get to it. So I think HexMage is going to be making the right call here.
Yep, and I was not quite correct. We know Dark World access, but Hex is just now getting the pearl.
Fair enough. Though still, nonetheless,
it's an early
helpful
seed.
to get that. Demon now got a.
It looks like we have the vanilla stun prize of a single green rupee. Hey, look, it's another pod small key in the dam. So we have Demon making his way into Mini Moldorn with just bombs, as HexMage heads into the back half here of the initial escape sequence. Quick work at the Mini Moldorns. We have another map to Desert Palace, so we have the maps to all Light World dungeons, Flippers, and Cape.
Ooh, dang.
And Demon comes up with the 3rd pod small key already.
All right, so now it looks like Demon's going to head over to the Ice Rod Cave, one of those areas that's very difficult to route in. even if you have the faster routes items like the flute and boots. So best check this early. You don't want to forget in case it has anything important. And let's see what HexMage finds. Just 10 arrows.
Yeah, definitely an interesting assortment of items early on. The biggest thing I think is once Demon gets his hammer, that early Dark World access should hopefully see quite a bit of divergence between these two runners as time progresses.
True, but he does have a few other places to check now that he has those flippers. You know, we've got Hobo, we've got Waterfall of Wishing, you've got Zora, especially since he now has the rupees for it. We find a heart container in Zelda's treasure chest. Not quite what he was hoping for. So let's see what Demon does as he indeed is heading into the water.
Oh yeah, definitely don't blame him for that. I mean, pulling the flippers out this early, it's a nice couple of items. Here we go. You had a blue pendant up at Hera, and I did not see desert, but it looked like a crystal to me.
All right, so Demon now gonna head over. Let's see what's on Lake Hylia Island here. And just a piece of heart, so it's off to the Hobo.
Yeah, and because of the huge amount of rupees I got early on, they'll be able to head straight to Zora, make that check as well as the ledge and the Wishing Fairy Cave. So it's a nice little circuit, definitely.
Absolutely, and it's always nice to get that out of the way early, because if you don't get it early enough, you tend to leave it behind, and if it has anything important, that can come back to haunt you. Let's see what the Hobo has here, as he gives up just another big 20. Well, hey, at least we now guarantee to have the money if we didn't have it already.
Oh yeah, it looks like 20 rupees is a very common thing we're seeing at the moment, early on.
And yeah, to answer a question in chat, Hammer was indeed found in the back of Escape, so that's why Demon does not have it yet. He has not checked that location, but sooner or later he'll get there. That's one of those places you don't forget about. 3 easy items, you don't pass that up.
Definitely. And HexMage is pretty much walking in Demon's footsteps at this point. I fully expect him to head over to that Ice Rod Cave and do his flipper checks as well.
And we have our fighter sword in the waterfall.
There we go. 12-20 in. First sword. Fantastic. Things just got a lot simpler for our runners.
Yeah, I've seen races where they've gone an hour and 23 minutes without a sword. So having that now is always a nice weight off your back. And oh no, HexMage taking a death.
Trying to hammer mini Moldhorns is not something I would suggest.
Yeah, but they don't really have much of a choice. We also found a heart container on the Zora ledge. So let's see if this is what the big fish has for us for 500 rupees. Are we going to get a life lesson, a love lesson, or are we going to get some worth?
Let's take a look.
And we get a small scam.
I mean, you get 60% of it back at least instead of nothing. And
very true.
Rightfully so, he's going for that container. It's early on. He only has 5. Definitely going to be a nice bit of a safety buffer.
Yeah, you want to, early on, you want to get as much health as you can. Even though they have that blue tunic, you know, some of those bosses like Blind and Mothula can really knock your health down. So it's best to get as much as you can.
HexMage is just committed. He has that bee in a bottle. I mean, that bee in a bottle is a fantastic way to clear this cave. Okay, good. He does get through finally with the bombs.
He's going to be glad he did. He's going to realize this was not in vain, because there's the flippers, there's the cape. He's like, okay, you know what? This wasn't a waste of time.
Yep. Unfortunately, that death has set him back about a minute or so between that and, you know, flailing around with the hammer just a little bit. But still, happy to see that.
Also, I have to comment on HexMage's rupee count right now.
Hey.
Oh, the crabs get him. I think that rupee count's cursed him. Green pendant in Swamp Palace. Ooh, that's a tease.
Yep, but now we know what 4 of the dungeons are at this point.
All right, key to swamp. Ooh, we got our lamp and a triple bomb pack. So now dark rooms are no longer an issue.
I'd have to say Demon is definitely in a good place now.
Absolutely. He's going to go ahead and take that lamp and go straight over to Eastern Palace. You won't be able to check everything, but there's at least a solid 4 chests you can check in there, which is certainly not bad.
Yep, and with it being a crystal dungeon, it's not a terrible idea to get this out the way first, since you require absolutely no items to check those 4 chests, besides the 4th one.
Yeah, you only need the lamp for that, which we now have, so it will be in logic. HexMage getting that big 20 at the hobo. I think he's broken whatever curse is on him now, hopefully. And Demon now starting his play here into Eastern Palace. Heads up the stairs. Let's see what our first chest is going to be. We have just a big 20. Fortunately, at this point, rupees are no longer an issue since we pretty much have enough now for everything that's left. You know, you've got the chess game, you've got the digging game, and you got the big bomb if that comes into play for the Pyramid Fairy. But other than that, I don't think we really need much else.
Nope, barring pit stops at the witch's shop for blue potions and the like, they are set.
Let's see what else Demon finds in here. Ooh, Ice Rod!
That is a fun little item to have.
He's in that Turtle Rock play. We'll see if that comes into play later or if that's just a red herring. Or blue herring in this case.
Personally, I'd love to see them do, Landmolus with the ice rod.
Hey, I've seen that happen before.
Here we go, Demon with a quick, clean skeleton room.
And let's see what else Demon finds. Finds a piece of heart there. So now it's on to the Vela Big Key chest. This does require dark rooms, but again, he has that lamp from Sir Hassela's closet, so this is going to be in logic, which means it could be something big, considering what little we found so far.
There we go, Hex getting his sword and before heading on up to Zora as well. I imagine Hex will grab that container on the ledge, which would bring him up to 7 with blue mail, which is pretty nice 17 minutes in.
Like we said, the more health, the better once you get into those Dark World plays. A lot of those bosses can really tank your damage, so you got to be prepared.
Oh yeah, and looking at key and item counts, I'm almost expecting to possibly see an early pod dip maybe. There's not many keys, but it depends on what turns up in their checks from here on.
That's very true. With 3 pod keys early on, it's definitely not a bad call to make, given that we don't really have access to much else. We'll see if they decide to go somewhere else first, and we find a map to Misery Mire in our Velen chest.
That's a fun one to know whether Hex is leaving the rupees. Well, Hex may need just a little bit more to do the rest of his item checks for the run.
We'll see if that comes back to haunt him later. As Demon now going to make his play into the back of Escape, he's going to be very happy he made this. He's going to be picking up his hammer here very shortly.
Yep, and with the lamp, he will have no problem navigating backwards using that vanilla Hyrule Castle key. Yep, and Hex is headed straight into the Dark World to Hype Cave.
Or as I like to call it, the Prince Cave, because even with Keysanity, it's become less of a hype cave than it used to be. But who knows? Again, we haven't found much. Demon not checking the sewer area. He's going to go ahead and just exit out. So let's see what HexMage finds here.
It looks like Demon may be heading directly to the Village of Outcasts with his start at Sanctuary.
Makes sense to me. All right, so let's see what HexMage finds here. We've got 5 items in here. Let's see what he picks up. Right off the bat, he gets Quake. Oh! We got the Quake Medallion. And we find Big Key to Thieves Town. Hey, that's starting to look better. Another pod key, Master Sword, and a big key to Desert Palace. I call that a hype cave.
That is definitely some value, and it is good that HexMage went south first, unlike... Oh, never mind. Demon's going up to Death Mountain first.
Ooh, that's a bit of a risky play. He won't be able to check much here unless he gets the hook shot from on these early play. But we'll see what happens. As HexMage now checking the bomb shop, we're going to find Skullwoods and Misery Mire are our 5-6 crystals.
Yep, so that leaves just a few dungeons left to figure out, and we see, he already had the map, but Saha told him as well. Actually, Hex never made it to Saha, has he?
Nope. Oh, Demon finding the Fisher-Price shield from the old man here. It's certainly not a bad escort fee.
Yep. And interesting note, Hex is now sitting at 4 pod small keys. Without the bow, it doesn't guarantee every item check, but he's only 1 key away from checking every item now.
Indeed. Gets a big 20 there off of old Stumpy as he makes his way to the south end. Now, he won't be able to go directly into the Village of Outcasts from the south, but he will unless he finds the Titan Mitts along the way. Ooh, big key on Spectacle Rock. That's a tease. We'll have to see when we find the mirror and we find another small key inside of the Spectacle Rock cave. I suspect Demon will be trying to pick that up in case it's something good.
Yep, we finally see some more keys rolling in. Definitely would love to see some more accessible big keys, but having Thieves Town, even though they don't know whether it's a crystal or pendant yet, since we haven't seen that map, Thieves Town is a nice little 8-item dip with an easy boss, relatively speaking.
Yep, and only 10 arrows from the digging game. I did not see what the small key was for. Let me just double check that.
It was to Skull Woods. Technically a useless key, but it does save a little bit of time when doing the item checks there.
And does help. Now I suspect HexMage will be doing he will be the one to go into the Village of Outcast, while Demon is now working his way into the dungeon area of escape. We didn't find much earlier, unfortunately, but if he runs that sewers, he might find something there.
Oh yeah, could see the classic death warp out of Zelda's cell, or he could just head straight there, save, quit back in. I imagine he'll be going left here, though. So, and HexMage is definitely going to Village of Outcasts. With Master Sword, both keys to Thieves Town, he's definitely set there.
Plus he has the hammer, so he could definitely check the big chest as well. Again, don't want to miss out on that if you don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I'd like to comment there. Black Belt Matt, I would disagree. Castle Tower Key could be useful. At least one of them could be to get to that second chest. I've seen that second chest be a big play. The last race I conned, the last big key they needed was in that second chest to Naga Tower. So don't count that Castle Tower Key out yet.
Yep, you need to find at least 1 Castle Tower Key to be able to check 2 items. Without them, you can still get to 1, but any chest can hold just about any item, so can't count any out even if you'd like to. And trust me, I'd love to count those out.
I think everyone would. Find a piece of heart starting off in Skull Woods here, as HexMage is going to head to the back. Now, thankfully, he didn't get the small key. That's Demon that got that, so he's going to have to go the long way around. We find the... Vanilla Big Key!
That is fantastic. That'll allow 1 more item check while he's over here. But interesting to note, whenever you enter Skull Woods without that key, you're forced to go south anyway. Interesting that he opened that first chest, spawned all the pits. Saves maybe a second if you do it the other way.
Indeed, but he is going to pick up this small key here. This is always guaranteed to be a vanilla small key since you need it to get out of this room without getting yourself stuck. So, of course, HexMage's going to grab that, and we're going to see what else he finds here.
I love that strategy right there that Demon just used.
Yeah, using the Ice Rod. We found a big key to Swamp there in Skull Woods. That's making Swamp House look a little bit better since we do have the flippers. But we need the mirror in order to get access to that, so we'll have to look for that first.
And you need the ever-elusive small key for it as well. Otherwise, you have 1 item to check of the 10 inside.
True. HexMage does not have that small key, but Demon does. Oh, no, he doesn't.
No.
I thought he did.
No, we haven't quite yet seen it. So it looks like Demon is going to check the sewer's dark chest, except he is backtracking from the cell to do so. A little bit of a timely thing here.
Well, given that he's got blue mail and a lot of health, setting up a death ward's probably a little trickier than you want it to be, so I guess I can see the logic behind that. HexMage now making his play here into the Village of Outcasts. Going to start with the Sea House here and find someone called Phantom Ryu, because that's gotta be Kane.
So we know Mire is a crystal and required, so that is one of the needed items for it. I still need to see where the big key turns up, as well as the flute and mitts.
Ooh,
But
HexMage
that's
was gonna
probably
go
nice. Ooh.
HexMage was trying to check the bombable hut, but realized he didn't have a bomb to bomb it.
Luckily for him, that 50-50 bush drop gave it to him.
Indeed. Let's see if it pays off. Oh, red mail. Hey, we'll take that.
I expect to see HexMage try to get as many bombs out of Thieves Town as he can here.
Makes sense. But first things first, he's going to go ahead and check the chess game. Got a good chance of having one of two items in here as well. Let's see what he gets for it. Single heart and just a big 20. So he just got scammed.
Oh yeah, the seeds definitely love him. It was just 3 bombs in the dark sewers, so fortunately for Hex, it's not really a pressing need.
No, but you know that will weigh on his mind later on, considering he tried to go for it earlier. So if he starts trying to search for items, he might check that later. But he's gonna head into Thieves Town, finds a 5-arrow upgrade to start things off. As Demon now, he's gone his way over to the Hype Cave, which we're definitely calling a Hype Cave this seed.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be happy to see those items.
And a 5-bomb upgrade.
Did you catch that Desert Palace in the half second he had it up?
No, I did not.
Okay. So both runners have the map for Desert Palace, but the map checks we've seen have been too quick to confirm or deny what it may be.
Oh, we've got Hookshot here in Thieves Town for HexMage. Very nice fine form there. And Powder!
Nice. Demon gets his slew of keys and his sword upgrade. And HexMage here, I'm almost expecting to see Death Mountain after he takes care of Thieves.
Makes sense. I mean, you've got the hook shot now. You can check East Death Mountain and that plethora of items over there. Plus, you know, if they find the Titan's bits before they get there, that could be Dark Death Mountain as well. Who knows what they'll find.
There we go. Demon gets his crystals 5 and 6 knowledge. And it looks like he's headed off towards the pyramid.
Ooh, this is an interesting play here. Hook pyramid, potentially also catfish. And then, of course, maybe he'll make that early pod play since he has as many keys as he does.
Yep, he's still one short from being able to check every item inside. But Pod does seem to love giving you a vanilla small key sometimes. We'll have to see.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, the last 3 seeds I've ran personally had a vanilla small key somewhere within Pod. So
the last few seeds I've commentated, I've also seen the same thing. So I definitely agree with you that possibility. And we find, speaking of small keys, we find a small key here on the pyramid. Let's see what Demon picks up here. Small key 2. Turtle Rock.
Ooh, 1 of the 4. Technically, you only need 3 to clear, but you don't want to be leaving that vanilla big key chest behind sometimes. HexMage bombed it open. Nothing too exciting since seeing the hook shot and powder.
Yeah, we're gonna start. We're actually, I will say, we've been in pretty well paced for items here in this seed. You know, we haven't had a huge cash in, but we've had a few good hotspots, but not like a severe, overwhelming amount of items too fast. Because normally when that happens, you know the troll comes afterwards.
Oh yeah, and we're definitely seeing the seed start to open up a little bit more. The keys did restrict where the items allowed a lot of access, but definitely some nice deviation here as we see what Quakefish will have here in a few.
At the same time, HexMage is going to be checking the maiden here, checking the chest next to her, and then of course the vanilla big chest over there. Since we do have the key and the hammer, that is accessible. So let's see what 2 items we're going to find here shortly.
Ooh.
That's I think our 3rd shield there for Demon. So we now we pretty much know where we can get Riot Shield once we get all of them. Not much for HexMage, unfortunately. Yeah,
every shield has been found. That all 3 shields are one of the conditions for the laser bridge of Turtle Rock. It's a ways off, but keeping that in the back of my mind now.
I also found a compass to Skull Woods there in the big chest, so not much else here. It's down to blind for HexMage to determine what the last item is and whether or not it's a crystal or our remaining pendant.
Yeah, if it's the remaining pendant, that on its own is very big knowledge because that identifies every dungeon that's required. The very helpful knowledge of Mire requiring Ether Quaker Bombos.
Now, thankfully, he has the Master Sword, so while it doesn't do any extra damage to blind, it gives him a couple extra pixels of range to work with, making this fight a little bit easier. And he's doing a very nice job here, taking very little damage on blind. Very nice fight. Let's see what he drops. Just 10 arrows and our first crystal of the race.
Still can't identify all the dungeons, but you know what? It feels really good whenever you go into a dungeon blind and you come out with a crystal.
Go into a dungeon blind. I see what you did there.
Too easy not to.
I don't blame you, sir. I like it. All right, looks like HexMage now is going to make a check on Bumper Cave. We've got that cape, so if it's anything good, now would be a good time to check it.
Yep, and Demon is following in HexMage's footsteps at the moment in Village of Outcasts. See, up on the ledge. Hey, look,
single arrow.
Yep. And rightfully so, he just walks away.
Though I'm sure the
Black
chat
Belt
would disagree on it being rightfully so.
Yep, Black Belt Matt, the 5-6 crystals were identified as Mire and
Skullwoods.
Skullwoods, right.
All right, now HexMage is going to take the long way around back into head over to Catfish. We know he's not going to get too much here, but he'll get that red shield. And then I think, yeah, he was the one that went up to Death Mountain, if I recall correctly.
Initially, yes. Yeah, Death Mountain trip's looking real nice right now. Just need that hook shot on Demon's side.
Well, Demon's in Thieves Town, so he'll be getting that pretty soon.
Yeah,
Also,
I imagine
Chat has confirmed that apparently Desert is a crystal.
That's what I thought. I saw a brief glimpse. HexMage did a map check, maybe about 10 minutes in, but it was very brief. So we're down to just 3 dungeons that are not known, and only one of them. Ooh, Hex is skipping the shield.
He does. Well, to be fair, even Mirror Shield isn't all that helpful for runners like these, so I can understand his need to not pick it up. I mean, yeah, it helps with Laser Bridge, but most of these guys know how to do stuff without it. I mean, they've got the cape. If they find half magic later, that Laser Bridge is not worth it.
Nah, but I'll admit, the red shield is fantastic to have simply because it deflects fireballs.
Very true.
So, I will consider skipping Mirror Shield, but if I've already got one and there's another right in front of me, Fire Shield I generally don't pass.
Well, that's you. That's not the HexMage, apparently.
Yep.
And he's going to head over to the pyramid. He's going to find that small key over there. And then he's going to have to... And then I suspect he's going to make the pod play. He wouldn't go all the way over here just for 2 items.
Overworld routing. Sometimes it's not pretty, but you can't leave things for too long. I don't know. I'd put Death Mountain over pod first, I think. Without the bow, you have 4 keys. You're going to blow them all. Just check in the back. You'll still have the east side. You'll have either Dark Maze or one other location still locked to you. I'd probably go Death Mountain first, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. HexMage hasn't picked up the lamp from Saha's yet.
No, which means he's going to have an even harder time checking some of these chests in here because he's going to have to do the Dark Maze in the dark, whereas Demon, when he gets there, will be able to check it without too much trouble. But my suspicions are correct. He is making his way over. So he's going to pay a visit to everyone's favorite little extortionist, Kiki the Monkey, and 110 rupees down the drain.
It's very interesting he never made his way back to Saha. Having that lamp is a bit useful. And again, short a key, He may not even open up the dark maze unless he finds a 5th one inside. We'll have to see what he does.
To answer a question in chat, what do I want on pedestal? What else would I want? I want to see. I want to see the ultimate trollage. I want to see GT Big Key on pedestal. I've yet to see that, and I kind of want to see that at least once before this tournament's over.
That would definitely be something. And I believe... Yeah, I've had a GT Big Key on Ped run. My week 2 run, I think.
Ah, nice. HexMage finding the map to Ice Palace, starting off in pod. Not a bad find to have.
Not at all. That's if it identifies as the red pendant, that's it for what we need to know. So, unfortunately, without that bow, he's forced to blow a small key on the front door there.
We'll see if it pays off. Ooh, Tempered Sword!
That's nice to see. Looks like he's going straight to the back, so he may be leaving the vanilla big key until later if he tries to in the dark maze. We'll have to see.
Let's hope that pays off for him. And sadly, I've seen that vanilla big key chest be a constant source of big items, so that might be a risky play. Fortunately, the Helmstar kind of knocks him around a little bit, forces him to have to reset the room since the floor was already starting to crumble. This Helmstar is always a troll.
Yep. I enjoy carrying that second pot down, sword beams, or arrows, personally, to get rid of it.
Compass for Misery Mire here as he heads downstairs, and meanwhile, Demon taking on Blind himself.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting is what does Hex find in these chests, and is it things that we will not be able to see? I have, okay, small key to Castle Tower.
Oh, we got our. I mean, that puts Agate Tower in play. Not a bad call. Not a bad thing to find. And I could not see what else he grabbed there.
I'm looking at his menu. Not positive what he got.
It must have been either bombs or arrows, because that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe a heart piece? I don't know.
I think heart pieces are visible on the screen.
So it's probably either bombs or arrows. And ooh,
Oh,
the flute! Now that's
flute.
more like it.
That is one step closer to the Mire area access. Nope, you can't quite go that way without bombs or boots there, HexMage. It looks like instead of the dark maze, he's gonna go ahead and check the vanilla big key chest.
Still, it's 2 chests no matter what, since we don't have the big key to pod just yet. So I think this doesn't really matter either which way he goes. It's a gamble no matter which route he takes. But here, at least, he can see what he's getting.
Yep.
Well, let's see what he finds here. Oh, that's the right bits. He made the right call.
He stuck to the logic, and it paid out.
Oh, that's why for me, gambles like that are a better call. And a small key to GT, if we don't find the big key, that could be helpful. But otherwise, that is pretty useless.
Nah, GT small keys are pretty much entirely useless, I believe. You do not need any small keys to get through the bottom. I think. I could be wrong.
You don't need many. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, HexMage is going to save and quit out, and I think he's finally ready to make his Death Mountain play.
Yeah, he's going to do it without the lamp if he does. I think he's going for that flute, though, first.
Oh, that's a very good point. Yep, he's going to activate his flute.
That's right. He technically does not need the lamp now. So I'm curious when he checks Saha, but it definitely will not impede his progress to Death Mountain.
But nonetheless, he is activating his flute at this time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have one thing to say, and that is, the goose is loose! And he's going to make his way over to Eastern. I think he's finally ready to go check out Saha. and get that lamp. He's going to be happy with that.
Yep, definitely a smart move to make. You know it's a 0 source requirement. You don't need any items for it except bombs. So the chances holding something is relatively high. You don't want to leave it for too long.
Okay, I have to read what one of the chat people put in there. The ultimate troll. Book on pedestal. Swamp big key and mushroom on tablets into Skullwood's big key at swamp big chest, and shovel at Witch's Hut into 4th Turtle Rock key at Skullwood's big chest. Powder at Witch's Hut into Silver's at Turtle Rock Central Island chest, and GT big key at Bat Cave.
Well, it's a good thing they already have powder and the swamp big key. All I have to say is Lord Sicarius, I would not want to play any randomizers he would create.
Pretty much. And now HexMage with that lamp and flute, he is making his Death Mountain play. He's going to go the back way in to pick up the old man, get his fire shield, and he's probably going to wonder, I could have had Riot Shield. What was I thinking?
Yep, here we see Demon. He receives the small arrow, and he's saving quitting out. And I'm almost expecting to see him go to... Yep, there we go. He's also headed up to Death Mountain.
We might see a little sync here.
Just for the briefest of moments. So we'll see Hex.
Both of them will be taking the Eastern Death Mountain play. However, HexMage has the advantage here because he has Titan's Bits. He can immediately check Dark Death Mountain and get a few more items out of that with the Super Bunny Cave and the Hookshot Cave. So he could come out with a bigger payout in the end.
Not only that, but the knowledge of what's required to open up Turtle Rock. We still don't know if it's Crystal or Pendant yet, but that knowledge will be there. So that early pod play definitely played out, I'd have to say.
Absolutely. Demon now going to head into the Paradox Cave. Let's see what we start finding here. We've got triple bombs and a map to Skull Woods, which we already know. Yeah. But now comes the money shot. What will we find in the upstairs area here in the Paradox Cave? 5 good items here. He's got the sword beams, activates the switch. He finds a small key to GT.
The bow! Oh, the bow! Wow. A small key to the Ice Palace as well helps clear that dungeon a little quicker.
Yep, and a little bit of love to finish out. But still, finding the bow, definitely not a bad play. We know HexMage is going to be picking that up himself pretty soon. Ooh, boy. This seat is starting to open up wide.
Yep. Unfortunately, the bow doesn't immediately lead to clearing anything. We still do not have big keys to do so, but it is one of those required items every seed, and it is probably a weight off their back because of just how useful it is.
Absolutely. Demon now going to head upstairs here as HexMage making his play on Paradox Cave. Let's see what's on the floating island. And just a 5 rupee drop. Not what he was hoping for. But he's going to take... Oop, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's nice whenever that floating island has nothing useful on it because it saves a lot of time.
That is very true, but he's going to take that hammer and he's going to go ahead and make the play over to Tower of Hera. Not a bad call for him in this regard. Now that does beg the question for HexMage. Is he going to do Hera first, or is he going to go to Dark Death Mountain first, given what we have? Since we don't have the big key to Hera, he might opt to skip that for now. And we find small key. There's our other Agate Tower key there for Demon. So he's going to have to exit out of there. But Agate Tower is starting to look pretty good right about now. I don't know about you.
It's definitely something that would be on my mind if I were either of these runners. And that quick dip into Hera is definitely worth it. It's just 2 items in and out. Even without the mirror, it's almost finger snap fast.
Demon now going to take the slow route into the spiral cave. Get your resident sleepers in chat, folks, because it's the walk of shame.
I've always found Spiral Cave without the boots to be kind of relaxing. It's a moment, it takes a little bit of time to get through, gives you a chance to think. What do I have? Where can I go? What's the best move?
And just a single rupee, a complete waste of time. Oof.
Yep. And HexMage opts not to pick up the map from Tower of Hera, even though he doesn't know what every crystalline pendant is yet. Personally, I like that knowledge too much to pass on a map.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So, and we've already seen one of the useless maps. I don't recall if we've seen Ganon's Tower map, but we have seen the Hyrule Castle map.
Oh, wait a minute. Demon, I think, is making a play on Spike Cave.
He has the cape. He has the hammer. He has a fair bit of health. I'm thinking he is.
Also, shout out to Phantom Marine in the chat. Need a drink after that cave. Good to see you there, buddy.
Yep, Shades did a good homage of the Red Cane, even though you were not here.
He knows. He knows what I do. He knows. Someone actually, true fact, I was watching his stream the other day. Someone was asking him about that because he's like, "Why does he keep referencing Phantom Ryu?" Like, do you not watch his streams?
Demon is.
Oh
yep.
No, not enough.
Nope. If he had gone in with full health or had a bottle to save himself, he would have been fine. But unfortunately, he was missing 2 hearts, and that's all that was needed.
So HexMage now heading into Dark Death Mountain, as I suspected. This gives him a little bit of an advantage here because this allows him to get some items that Demon could not pick up earlier. And if there's anything good in these areas, that could be a big change.
6 item advantage over Demon in this case, as well as the knowledge of Turtle Rock Medallion. I always enjoy that one. Let's see, plus, that's right, Demon has yet to find the flute because Pod.
Hasn't been to Pod, so instead he's going to head over to the desert area, check out Agatha's Cave. Let's see what HexMage finds. 5 arrow upgrade and a big 20. So not much there, but there's still the hookshot cave to go.
Yes, John TD Demon did indeed clear Thieves Town.
Yep. Tracker shows both of them beating it. And
was that Ice Palace red?
Ice Palace, all of our dungeons have now officially been confirmed. That means Pod and Turtle Rock are crystals.
Yep, so where's the fire rod? Hex needs to get his ice rod still. There's a small key to Mystery Mire. Absolutely useless. Hey, there's a fire rod!
There it is! Fire rod! Commentator's blessing in effect, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, so in terms of items, we are getting somewhat close to an item go mode. We're still short keys, but usually in Keysanity, it's the keys you're looking for, not the items in the end. So where are you headed off to, Hex? You got the items, you got the knowledge.
He's going to be heading into Eastern Palace. He won't be able to full clear it, but he will be able to get that ice rod that he needs, so that's definitely not a bad call. And if the Quake Medallion ends up being the one for Turtle Rock, he could immediately enter it. He won't be able to full clear it, but could check it.
He didn't check Turtle Rock's medallion. He was right there. Oh, wow. That's a bit of a shame because he has the flute, he has the Titan's mitts. He was right there. He could have had both medallion knowledge out of the way real quick.
Demon now going to be doing his run of the digging game. Going to be disappointed with what he finds there. While HexMage is going to make him his run into Eastern and inevitably find that ice rod. So looking at our screens right now, it's hard to say what could be done at this point. I guess for HexMage, I think the play would have to be Skull Wood since we now have that fire rod. Give us a couple more items plus our next crystal. I would say that's the best call you can make because there's really not many other dungeons they could check at this point. We'll have to see. And there indeed is that pod dark room, but bear in mind, I'm pretty sure HexMage used all of his keys, so he'd have to find one more in order to get in there. So that might be inaccessible to him, but it looks like Demon might be making that play to pod. We'll see if he gets any better luck out of that. Let's see. I'm going to take, since we're seeing a lot of similar routing here, I'm going to take this time to remind you folks, if you're enjoying our runners, make sure you give both DemonRHK and HexMage a follow on Twitch. They're running hard for your entertainment, so show them some love, folks. All right, and Demon now paying off Kiki, heading into pod. Well, HexMage is heading over to the Vanilla Big Key chest here in Eastern.
Oh yeah, Demon's going to be real happy with what he pulls out of pod. What I'm curious about is with that bow, does he go ahead and go both side, skip blowing a small key, and gets every item check out of the way in one visit?
That might be very helpful for him, allow him to get a couple items that HexMage could not, and that could turn the tide back in his favor.
Yeah, that's 4 items over HexMage in pod that we did not see. The Dark Maze plus the 2 on the bow side.
And HexMage now, he's heading over to the Mire area, it looks like. He's going to find out the information of what medallions need for Mire, and of course, check the Mire shack to see what that has. Let's see what Mire has given us here. And Ether. We do not have that medallion yet, so we are on the hunt for one more medallion.
Yep, I'm still just a little bit bummed he didn't get that Turtle Rock check out the way early, but we know that medallions are still needed, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
Unfortunately, Mire did not pay off, only finding a piece of heart and a compass for Swamp. Not what he was hoping for there. And Demon now making his way into the arrow area, the harmless Hellway here in pod to see if he can get those other 2 chests.
Yeah, it's a fun little hallway without boots. There's a setup to just dash right through it, but otherwise it's back, forth.
Just a piece of art. We found 50 rupees on the desert ledge. Not quite anything useful there, and we can't get into the desert anyway. And just 50 rupees for Demon as well, so still no... So basically that route was pretty useless, but that saving a key could give him access to the Dark Maze, which could change the tide.
Yep, there's 2 items there, and if either of them are really big, then that means Hex still has to find a small key to be able to take advantage of that. But he's going to get his disappointment from Agata in the form. I suppose Turtle Rock small key is not too much a disappointment, but he's probably hoping for something better at this point.
Aren't we always? And Demon going the other way. He's not going to check the that central. He's not going to check those 2 chests. He's going to go straight to the back end. He's going to get his Temper Sword at least. That will help. Oh, well, I see.
If you commit to the big key vanilla chest early on, then you are forced to go all the way back through the bow side again. Otherwise, you have that locked door in the way still. But it looks like he's going this way first instead of the back, so he will have to retread his steps rather than walking back from Dark Maze to come to this point.
And HexMage, as I suspected, he's got that fire rod. He's going to go check Skull Woods and finish that out. Demon now picking up his Titan's Mitts, and his seat is just now opened up wide.
Oh yeah, definitely. Still have the flute in the back, plus the unknown items in Dark Maze, but he will definitely be happy with this check.
Who knows? He may end up happier for it if he finds items that Hex did not, as HexMage now working his way. We didn't actually we did not check this back room in Skull Woods. Neither of our owners went back there, so this could be another item that they missed out on.
Yep, with the cane, it's real quick and easy. I'm honestly surprised he pulled out that fire rod. And, hey, it's blue goo!
Hey, actually, you know what? I think Demon did pick that up, but nonetheless, that's going to be helpful, especially going into Mothula. Having that extra health and magic to take on Mothula is certainly not something you will turn away.
Yep, and Demon is coming back up to the back half of Pod again. No, yeah, you just kind of locked yourself there.
There we go. Demon now going to check that back end there. He's still got 3 keys, so he'll be able to check all the rooms back here.
Ooh, be a little bit... Okay. Yeah, I was concerned there with this magic use there for a moment.
Oh, thankfully, HexMage has that tempered sword, so Mothula shouldn't be too difficult, especially with Red Nail. Though you still want to be careful, because it is Mothula. He's never an easy fight.
Nope, it's never the moth you gotta worry about. It's those spikes.
Yeah, that's very true. Having a little trouble there, trying to get some hits in on him, while dodging the spikes. But he gets him down. Nicely done. Let's see what the moth drops for him. Yes, yes, yes! It's the Cane and Brian! Team Hell No complete!
Yep, and it turns out that item we were uncertain of in Pod in the Dark was simply a 5 bomb capacity upgrade.
Ah, no wonder we couldn't see it. Nonetheless, he is going to enter the Dark Maze, so that's 2 more items available for him to check. Unfortunately, he won't be able to check the big chest, but that's still 2 items that HexMage doesn't have. Let's see what he finds. Ooh, half magic! That's certainly not bad.
That's a handy item to have, not required, but it definitely makes things a lot easier when it comes to just general gameplay. And 20 rupees, again.
So HexMage didn't miss out on too much, though. He will probably wish he had that half magic. And we find the big key to Ice Palace. I think I know where HexMage is going next.
Yeah, it is a pendant dungeon, but that is 8 items inside of Ice Palace. They have 1 small key for it. They have the big key for it. So they could clear it if they chose to.
Yeah, given the items given that we haven't found many other items and we don't really have many other dungeons we can check right now, I don't think he really has much choice.
No, I mean, you could head to Castle Tower to do the check there. In terms of overworld, I don't think we've seen the Titans things. We have the Smith and Purple Chest, but without the Mirror, they are a bit on the slow side. We have the Peg Cave. We have Magic Bat. Stuff is kind of spread everywhere at this point.
And we accidentally talked over the Link to the Past national anthem there, but nonetheless, Goose is loose for Demon as HexMage begins his Ice Palace play. All right, so let's see what HexMage finds in here. Hopefully this won't be a complete waste of time for him. First chest, just a piece of heart.
Ice physics without boots. Gotta love it.
Oh, always fun, right? Hashtag fun. All right, so Demon now going to be disappointed with the Mire Shack check, but HexMage now working his way, trying to get past these red jellies and make his way further into Ice Palace. And now comes the fun part for HexMage, the upcoming Ice Palace bomb jump. If you're going to play this game in any capacity and speedrun it, you want to master this upcoming jump.
Yeah, nothing like cracking a dungeon in half, but he's got to be careful. He's taking a lot of hits against the spikes in that room there.
Yeah, he needs that health for the bomb jump, so he's got to be careful there, but gets it first try every time.
Gorgeous.
Always beautiful to watch when it gets executed that perfectly. And Demon now making his play into the Dark Death Mountain. He's going to be happy with what he finds up there, especially once he goes into that hookshot cave. Maybe through Demon we'll finally find out what medallions required for Total Rock.
Yeah, that's definitely good knowledge, because if it's Quake, you have 2 small keys. Demon will pull the fire rod out of Hookshot Cave here shortly. So, I mean, you can still check a fair few items up in the front part of Turtle Rock. That could be a big thing. Taking advantage of the little bunny square there.
Yeah, gonna powder that punny bean to get himself a little extra health. Certainly not a bad call. Let's see what else he finds here. We still haven't found much in Ice Palace yet, but we do find a small key to Desert. So it opens up the right side, but we still don't have access to it yet because we need either the book or the mirror to get that. But who knows? Maybe he'll find that in here.
Yeah, and it's nice having all the keys.
And it's bombos for Turtle Rock. So the one medallion we have is the one that is useless.
Fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, the trolling has indeed begun. Ooh, shovel! Hashtag fetch quest for HexMage.
I'm liking what he's pulling out of Ice Palace so far. I'm just going to say that. Fetch quests are fantastic.
You like that kind of trolling, huh?
Hey, I've gone through it and worse. Gotta love it.
I don't doubt it for a minute, but we still got a few more chests to check. There's another big 20. He's gonna set up a bomb so he can go straight for the big chest there. Oh, he's gonna bomb jump across. He's not gonna check the big chest. What do you?
He'll be coming back to it.
He'll come back to it. He's going the other way around. Okay, fair enough.
Yep, this bomb jump is just a little bit quicker to check the pretty much out of the way troll chest that some people forget exists. But rather than having to go through 2 rooms with ice tiles, it's just, hey, there it is.
And Demon now with a half magic is going to make attempt number 2 at Spike Cave.
Yeah, he is definitely set with half magic now.
And I missed what HexMage just got out of that one chest there.
10 arrows.
Oh, never mind then. That's useless.
Yep. Hey, look, it's another 20 rupees in the back of the Spike Cave.
Now he's just like, I just went through all that trouble for that? Why?
Yep.
And HexMage now gonna try to use the hook shot glitch, but couldn't quite.
Oh,
that's harsh.
Nope, you have to change the floor you're on. You're gonna have to go down and right back up, Hex.
That is brutal.
He is now forced to take the long way around.
He's gonna say, screw that. He's going straight to Cold Stare.
Ooh.
He has got a hope, beyond hope, that there is nothing in that chest, or else he has just screwed himself, because now he's got to go all the way back to get to that chest. And no matter what, having to go back through Ice Palace is never fun.
He's short magic. And he doesn't have half magic. Oh, lucky magic drop. He almost had to save and quit there. Actually, I think Hex does have the blue potion.
But he's trying to save it for when he really needs it. He doesn't want to waste it.
Yeah. So that's very trolling whenever you don't have bombos. Ooh, bit too early on the spin there. He cornered the buff there briefly, but...
Missed out on that corner trick there, but thankfully he's got Tempered Sword, so this won't be too rough.
And more importantly, he has red mail, too.
Yeah, he can afford to take a little bit of damage.
Yeah, he's being pretty aggressive with it, and it's paying off. The puffs are dropping relatively fast considering his situation.
And he gets him down. He's going to get his red pendant. And he gets the
mirror! Wow!
Ice Palace required!
Now, Demon just got his Ice Palace big key. Does he head there after he finishes off Skullwood's the question?
He's going to have to. We'll see how he gets it. But, man, what a find for HexMage. Again, it's actually not technically required, but if there's anything in Swamp Palace, it would be.
The mirror is required for desert access at this point in time.
That's very true. We haven't found the book yet, so yeah, it's still, no matter what, it's a big find for HexMage.
Yeah. Plus, HexMage is going straight for that big key on top of Spectacle Rock, I think.
Well, given we don't know what it is, I mean, if it's Tower of Hera, Eastern Palace, Pod...
How about GT?
Yeah, it could be the GT big key. I certainly don't blame him for wanting to pick that up. There's still plenty of big keys he needs to find. So I think after this, the play is without question Desert. I mean, it's a crystal dungeon. You have both the keys for it. There's no reason not to go into it at this point. All right, let's see what heck key it is. It's a big key for Pod.
Wow. So Hex still needs 2 small keys to be able to finish with Pod, since he blew all of his and hasn't done the dark maze. We don't know what's in the big key, and you don't want to go to Helma without checking all the items first. Demon's getting tossed around by the spikes, but he's making it work slowly. As every hit...
Every hit counts, but yeah, HexMage picking up his big 20 from the spike cave. Demon taking out Mothula. Nicely done.
Yep, I think I flipped names there from him. Yeah, Demon was getting thrown around by the spikes there for a bit.
All right, so let's see if my theory is correct for HexMage here. Where's he going? He's going to desert.
Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't. It's just you have 6 items, not many in the item count, but it's still a crystal. It may not be a 5-6, but it's another dungeon you can mark off.
Plus, if he finds anything in desert, this will be big for him. He's definitely, I'd say he's on the right path. He's got a slight lead going here. And I think Demon is making the play to the Aga Tower.
Ooh. I can tell you right now, though, that Ice Palace Big Chest is probably hanging over Hex's head.
Oh, like a guillotine. No, that a question. If that ends up being anything important, and that's going to cost him pretty much everything. But let's see what HexMage finds here. He's heading straight to the big chest, as Demon is indeed heading upstairs to the Aga Tower. And HexMage finds Fairy in a bottle. Well, that's certainly not bad.
Yep. Interesting, he chose the front half first. I probably would have gone to Land Molus and then done the back. Or what's technically the front of the dungeon, I should say. Boots not required, just a container up there.
Yep, which means they're going to be short a little bit of health, but they've got enough as it is. Not be a big issue, especially with the red mail. HexMage now going to check this chest here, finds a 5-arrow upgrade, and onto the right side.
Hey, there's one of the pod keys in Aga Tower.
So for these guys, Aga Tower is technically required since they need to get that pod key in order to finish up.
Oh yeah, so HexMage he is forced to go there at some point. Demon is done with pod keys at this point. He doesn't have the big key because he hasn't been to ice. But technically he does not need... Hey look, it's another Ice Palace.
Hey, silvers!
Oh. Wow, okay, so doing the front half definitely paid out because Land Molus with silvers, if you can time it right, real fast.
Absolutely, good call for HexMage as now he heads into the back end of desert. And plus, we still have Eastern and Pod that still need to be finished up, so having those silvers is going to make those 2 dungeons, as well as Misery Mire, a complete joke. Always
nice to have those. Demon was thinking there for a minute, but it looks like he's also about to make the play on ice.
Given what we know is waiting for him there, certainly not a bad call to make.
I believe logically it is the only completable dungeon he currently has available to him.
Pretty much.
This seed, despite item-wise, the key count has kept it somewhat linear. Oh, need a little bit of magic there, Hex.
Yep, gotta be careful with that magic. Unfortunately, he has not found the half magic in Pod, so he's gonna have to play it carefully here. But he's entering. He's gonna get his silvers ready and take on Land Mollusk.
Yep, let's see if he gets the zero cycle. He's lined up nicely.
Oh, but he misses the shot. He gets one of them down, but because he missed the first one, that second one kind of threw him off. But he gets it on the second cycle, so not too bad there. And drops 10 arrow upgrade, but he gets his third crystal of the seed.
So, pretty much, Desert was a bust, but you get your crystal, so it doesn't really matter. What does he have access to at this point?
He has. It's simple for me, as far as I can see. He has to go to Agatar, get that pod key, and finish up Pod. That's his play.
He's still short one key. We know that.
That's why he needs to go to
nothing.
Agatar. He needs to get that key. That's what I'm saying. He needs to get that last key for Pod that he really needs, at least for him. Obviously, logically, he needs all 6, but he can get that last key for Agatar and make the play to get the Dark Maze and then finish up Helmisar.
Was it Demon that went in and blew all 4 keys?
No, it was HexMage.
HexMage.
Well,
okay.
actually, I think they both technically did, but Demon was the one that did the Dark Maze.
Okay, so Hex is still short the key and the tower, plus a 6th still unknown one.
Exactly. Oh, but it looks like actually he is going to make the play on Swamp Palace, which is also accessible now that he has the mirror. Not the worst play you can make.
Nah, it's another pendant dungeon, but I mean the first pendant dungeon he did checked out.
Yeah, you've got the small key, you've got the big key for Swamp. You can open up all those chests. I don't see the reason not to do this. And chat brings up a good point. It's not just any pendant dungeon. It is the green pendant, which gives Sir Hassel a potential item. I can see that being paying off in the long run.
Yep, Demon gets his Desert Palace small key, which I believe gives him big and small at this point.
HexMage now starting his play into Swamp Palace. What will he find here? This could be big. Right off the bat, big 20. Not quite what he was hoping for. He wants to find something here. We're still looking for both those medallions, which I suspect one of them might be hiding here.
Oh, Hex hasn't shoveled yet.
Oh, there's a possibility. And just a piece of heart.
One demon show us goods. No, you're. Which way is he going with this?
He's going back around for that other key. Or that other chest, I should say. He's just taking the long way around. HexMage now. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, it does look like he's taking the relatively long way to get to the same point here. Still a bit quicker than dropping all the way down, though.
Absolutely. HexMage now entering the main area of Swamp Palace. He's obviously going to grab this key over here, check the south end, and then grab the big chest while heading over to the left side. Actually, no, he's grabbing the big chest first. Just a 5-arrow upgrade. So now comes the moment of truth for both of our runners. What does Demon find in the big chest, and what does HexMage find in Swamp? Still looking for items. Ooh, we got a small key to Tower of Hera's. Basement's now open.
That's always a fun one.
Yeah. Though I don't know if anyone's going to go back for that, since he is not checking left side. He's going to go straight to Argus. All right, moment of truth for Demon. What is in the big chest? Just a piece of heart. HexMage has not cost himself.
Yep, luckily, and with that one being such a time-costly one to check, even if they end up having an item search, it'll probably be one of the last ones on his mind.
All right, Demon taking the long way into the bottom area here at Ice Palace. Gonna use that last small key here to pick up, but let's see what HexMage finds here in the back end of Swamp. We find a 5-bomb upgrade and a compass to Turtle Rock. So still not finding much. You may have to check that left side when he gets done.
What do you think? Swamp's the red herring, green pennant turns up nothing and ends up being dig spot with progress?
I wouldn't be surprised. We find a map to Dark Topaz. We already know that is our one of our crystals, so not really useful information for him. Demon now taking on Cold Stare. Couldn't quite get the trick off either on his end, but he's also got to have magic, so he's got a little extra damage to work with.
Yeah, he's getting beat up a little bit there in that first part. Looks like he's got himself a little bit better established now.
And as he starts finishing up Cold Stare, HexMage now taking on Argus. HexMage really hoping that Argus is going to have something on him. All right, HexMage setting up the silver arrows, going to try to do a quick kill. Almost got him there, but Argus being a little tricky. There we go. One shot, one kill. Takes him down and gets 50 rupees and the green pendant.
Now, does he go left side or cash in that pendant? I want to guess he would go left side at this point. Once you've already done this much Swamp, you might as well fully commit. It looks like Demon's headed over to do Desert Palace now.
Makes sense, and as you called it, HexMage heading back in. He's going to go check left side Swamp. You realize, though, thinking about it now, Pedestal still looks pretty tempting right now, since we still have two medallions and a couple big keys still floating around.
Oh yeah, definitely. All they need is the Hera big key. We have the basement key, but we don't have the big. If they find the big key, then a blind ped pull could be in the cards. That would be an interesting thing, having a pull pedestal without the book.
Ooh, that's always the biggest tease for us, is knowing, do they need to blind pull the pedestal, and if they do, what is on it?
Yep, it's not often that you end up in a situation where pedestal is required and the book does not turn up. It's an even rarer one where the book is on the pedestal.
I have seen that happen, though.
It's pretty amusing.
It really is. I remember during the open mode tournament last fall, that exact thing did happen, where not only was a book on pedestal, but it was required because one of the tablets had something.
Well, Hex is about to start on over here to the left side.
Demon now working on Desert Palace is going to be picking up his silvers here before too long. So we'll see how this plays out from here.
Yep, silvers and crystal number 3 once he gets back there.
All right, moment of truth for HexMage. Was this a bust or was this actually necessary? What's in our first chest? We've got
Ooh.
Eastern Palace Big Key.
Swamp required left side.
Absolutely. And on the other side, we find a piece of heart, but nonetheless, this has not been a complete waste of time for HexMage. It was almost there, but at the end, it did pay off.
Yep, and I have a feeling he's about to head straight on over to clear a certain dungeon.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's right with the mirror, though. He can check south of the grove first.
The Mirror Cave, as I like to call it. Yep, definitely not a bad call.
What do you think? My money is on another 20 rupee.
That seems reasonable. I'd say a 10 arrow pack. I haven't seen too many of them specifically, but let's see. And in and finds triple bombs.
I'd say you were closer than I was. Not quite arrows, but bombs are closer than rupees.
Still not by much, though. He is going to stop off for the Sacred Grove and check the dig spot. He has not forgotten about his shovel.
Ooh.
Very efficient routing here by HexMage.
Yeah, I do like it coming out of Swamp making these plays here.
He finds... Oop, missed it. Ooh, small key. It's another... It's the last pod key!
So he needs to get over to Aga to get that 6 small key, and he will be set for pod as well. So unless he knows how to hammer jump, he still, by logic, needs to check that dark maze. But he's going into the dark world.
Now, hopefully, if he's smart, he'll stop over and check that green pendant, since he's going to have to go this way anyway. And if that green pendant pays off, then yeah, swamp definitely required.
Yep, and Demon nailed the 0 cycle Silver Land Molus perfectly.
Nicely
Fantastic job on his end. Do you pull out the mirror, Hex? I like how there is a wonderful spot that you can mirror to get to Saha in this little maze portion here.
No, he's not checking it. He might check it after he finishes up Easter.
Yep. So you going for the end boss here, or are you headed to Dark Maze, Hex? That's the question. You can only do one, unless you know how to hammer jump.
Meanwhile, Demon now going to go take Jeremiah here on a pick him up and drop him off.
Yep. And in chat, Demon is the one who left the front door locked and saved the small key. HexMage, unfortunately, did not have the bow on his initial trip to Pod, so he was forced through the door. So he is still 1 key short from checking everything inside a pod.
Demon now doing the slow route through the peg cave. Let's see what he finds here. And just a big 20.
Yep, a little bit timely, but it's not too terrible to do that manually if you're efficient with it.
All right, it looks like HexMage is indeed going to go straight to Helmstar King. He's not even going to bother with those other chests. He's only going to miss out on half magic as a result of that, but nonetheless, and we find just a big 20. Looks like the Smiths are doing some counterfeiting these days.
Yeah, it's more a question of what's in that big chest now, because until he goes to Aga Tower and gets the final pod key, if anything's in that big chest, he can't access it, barring a hammer jump.
Mm-hmm. And Demon now going to check out the Bat Cave. Gonna put that powder to good use. Let's see what we have. Just a heart container.
My guess is he's going to grab that purple chest. Yep. And what sort of routing you doing here, Demon?
He's probably going to take it down south. I think he's going to check all the stuff that HexMage checked earlier on his way to drop off the chest.
Yep, it does seem that way. Curious about the hook shot. Unless he damage boosts, he really can't put it to use, because he will drop the chest.
No, either way, HexMage now taking on the Helmet Star King. 17 whacks with the hammer, and a few sword swings, or one shot with the silvers, and down goes the lizard.
I fully expect him to pull out the silvers once that mask drops. So, fun little fact. I think a lot of people know this at this point, but bombs are the equivalent of 4 hammer hits on that mask. And is actually in the official guidebook from way back when the game came out to use bombs on the mask rather than the hammer.
He went for sword strats, but he takes him down quickly, gets a small key to Turtle Rock, which could be helpful, and gets his next crystal.
Yep. Need a minimum of 3 small keys to clear Turtle Rock, but that leaves an item behind. Still need the big key for these runners, though.
Yep, we'll need that to get to the Trinex, so... Oh, he's going to go back in. He's got a hammer jump.
Good, we'll get to see what's in the big chest then. This is a trick coming up Hex is about to do that looks deceptively difficult. However, through the use of pause buffering on your item menu, you can line it up relatively easy and learn it quickly.
All right, he's going to set it up here. Hopefully he's got it right. Gets it.
First try.
Bombos!
Wow. And one moment, folks, we are aware that the sound has dropped for the moment. We'll get it back here momentarily.
But still, big play for HexMage. He's going to get his half magic, and that Bombos medallion required for Total Rock. So that is huge.
Yep, still need to find where Ether's hiding out, but Bombos gives Turtle Rock Dip more and more weight. Can't do the back half, without the big key, which means no laser bridge. But that is still access to, I believe it is 5 items plus Mimic Cave.
To answer a question in chat, Varanin, the half magic was located in the Dark Mesa pod, so that's where HexMage just picked it up.
Yep, from pod right into Eastern. Gotta love it when you're able to make those plays.
All right, so HexMage now working its way into the back end of Eastern Palace. Should be interesting to see what he gets from this, because we're getting close to the end here, folks. We just got 2 more dungeons after HexMage finishes Eastern.
Yep, we're still looking for the Mire big key. We're still looking for the Turtle Rock big key. We still need the Ganon's Tower big key, and we still need Ether. So, an interesting collection of items missing, considering how much has been cleared.
Indeed. The one item I think HexMage does not want to find is the Tower of Hera big key, because that almost tells us it's going to be a pedestal seed at this point.
Yep, and even if it's not a pedestal seed, it still means you will have had to go into every pendant dungeon, potentially clearing them.
And he feeds it 300 rupees. Not what he was hoping for there, but he does get his crystal.
Now, let's see what Saha holds for that green pendant.
Yeah, because we're quickly running out of overworld locations. The only other thing I can think of to check right now would be Graveyard Cave.
Yep, Graveyard Ledge. He can't do the Fat Fairy check without Mire.
Ooh, clever use of the king to bypass the mirror portal there. Very, very nice trick.
Yep, if you are carrying any item, you don't mirror. It's a pretty nifty thing that most people aren't aware of, I believe. Oh, it's just a map.
Just a map to Thieves Town, which we've already beaten a long time ago. Anyone up for a burrito?
So, where are you going now, Hex? There's not too much left. Well, that's right. Hex has not done Peg Cave, Smith, or Purple Chest yet. So, it looks like that could be his next play, or he could be going over to Graveyard Ledge. So, and Demon's gotten all the value he's going to get, barring a pedestal seed out of Swamp. But I imagine he's going to finish out the dungeon at this point.
You're here, you might as well do it. So let's see, what have we left to check in terms of overload locations? What haven't we done yet? Like I said, Graveyard Cave is the big one, because that one hasn't been checked yet. Fortunately, we can't do King's Tomb because we don't have the boots.
Yep. King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks are both locked still.
Yep. Tower of Hera basement still is in play.
There's not a whole lot. Yeah, Hex is pulling up empty. Unless Graveyard Ledge has something monumental, it's Turtle Rock or Hera Basement. And let's see, they've done their available fetch quests. We've seen the Magic Bat. We've seen the shovel.
Yeah, seen shovel, seen bat. Mushroom's still out there. We haven't found that yet.
Desert Palace Torch was a heart container. At this rate, I'm honestly thinking the seed will be Turtle Rock for Hera Big Key into the pedestal, for the Mire Big Key to go back to Turtle Rock. I don't know about GT Big Key, but that's something that I'm thinking it's somewhat likely at this point. So Demon heading on into Argus, making somewhat short work of the puffballs around it, whereas Hex is going to pick up his purple chest, try to clear the overworld locations. Still need to make it over to Graveyard Ledge. It's the only location that we are not aware of between the two runners at this point in time. And then it's Hera Basement and Turtle Rock. And there's Demon's green pennant, which we know is pretty much useless to Saha. But with keys, it should send him over towards the pod vicinity now. Oh, Hex is doing the Graveyard Ledge with the chest. Very nice play there. Key to Misery Mire. Graveyard Ledge comes up a bust.
Ooh, not what they needed to find.
Nope. So it is Hera Basement or Turtle Rock.
And that might be where Demon's heading, Kersey. He's heading up Death Mountain right now. I think he's heading actually, I think he's heading to Terra Basement since he's right there. Oh, wait,
Plus,
no,
he has to pick up his big key to, that's the pod big key right there.
That's true.
So that may clue him into, hey, I have the key for pod. I have the key for Eastern. Let's head over there. Hex Sanctuary. Hex may be taking the back half to the sewer escape chest, perhaps?
Not gonna be too happy with what he finds there, but still gotta check it.
At least he's not going back to the Ice Palace big key yet, or big chest.
Oh, that would be a huge waste of time.
Yep. A lot easier with a lamp and a sword. Fortunately, it's just 3 bombs down here, I believe it was.
Indeed, there's the triple bombs. Demon now, he's going to drop off his green pendant real quick. Going to be disappointed with what he finds there.
Oh, yeah. Link's house, Hex. What you got in mind? Show us.
What is your plan? Oh, he's heading to Agate Tower.
Yep. Well, he's going to get that final pod key that is now useless, and nothing else of value. I believe it's a piece of heart was the other item up here.
Something like that.
So doing his due diligence, but we know that it's either Hera Basement or Turtle Rock is the next big play to be made in terms of progression following Pod Eastern. Yep, Demon has to take the long way around here, given that he only has the 5th key. Lovely hitboxes there. No, it was the compass in here to Ice Palace. Still completely useless.
Pretty much.
Death Mountain, Hex. That's where you want to go.
That's where you need to go, and that's where he's going.
Fantastic. So Demon about to get his Bombos medallion, which will hopefully clue him in a little bit quicker than Hex did in terms of where you need to go next. And yeah, Hex is
Oh, dead rocked.
just a bit. For a moment there, I was wondering if he was going to go over to Hera. That would have been interesting to see that basement play. But nobody seems to like the basement unless if they have to go to it.
Can't blame him. It's a pain in the butt.
Yep. Actually, Hex never checked this medallion, I don't think. Luckily for him, he has it. So let's see, he has access to 6 chests plus Mimic Cave, I believe it is. He has 3 of the 4 small keys, still lacks the big key, but it's enough to get him through to the big door.
Again, this is one of the few plays they can make, and honestly, even though Hera has an item, there's more here to find, and I'm sure he's going to find something here. Starts off with a compass to pod. Well, that's useless.
Yeah, the way the seed's been, though, I'm almost expecting Hera basement will be where the value is.
That would be cruel. Oh, it takes a fall. It's going to have to use a little more magic here.
Yeah, luckily, half magic. This dungeon is scattered with full magic refills. Those blue jellies in this main room, though, are such a troll.
Gotta love that RNG. Alright, gets the torch open here. 2 chests up here. Let's see what he finds.
Unfortunately, no swag blue cane dash, since no boots.
Yep. Oh, we find... Oh, vanilla big key!
Wow. Okay, so Turtle Rock is now clearable. But only if they skip the vanilla big chest.
That is, of course, if they don't find that last key along the way, which, given how few items we have, I would not be surprised if we find another key in this dungeon.
Another fun fact, though, laser bridge.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Hex, you regretting ignoring that other shield now?
Luckily, with both invincibility items and half magic, you really don't need to worry too much about trying to do laser skips.
That is true.
Trolled by the chain chops, then he also lost the block on top of it. A little bit low on health.
Needs to be careful, but he got triple bombs there from the chain shop room. Demon now finishing off Helmasaur King gets his small key to Turtle Rock and his next crystal.
Yep. Luckily for Hex, there are literally 5 anti-fairies in the next 3 rooms to powder 6, if he so chose.
Yeah, health is not a big issue for him right now.
So Demon knocks out Helmasaur and is headed right into Eastern. And then I imagine we'll be seeing him headed up to Death Mountain as well. He has done all but the Graveyard Ledge check, I believe, in terms of Overworld, compared to Hex, who hadn't done those yet. So he should be heading up there a little bit quicker afterwards. And yeah, he's skipping the chests.
Can't blame him.
He intends to complete it all. Yep, about to get to see our Mimic Cave check. Always a fun location.
Oh yeah, again, last race I commentated, the GT Big Key was in this Mimic Cave, but having to get to Turtle Rock was a real pain because the Quake medallion needed to enter it was in Ganon's tower, so you can imagine how painful that was.
Oh yeah, and without the GT Big Key turning up yet, it could be likely that the GT Big Key is GT locked.
Ooh, that's never fun. Mimic's giving HexMage a little bit of trouble here, but he gets through. All right, let's see what the Mimic Cave has. We find Ether!
Mimic Cave required. We still need the Mystery Mire Big Key, though. It has not turned up yet.
He has to hope it's in one of the chests along the way. Thankfully, now with the Big Key, the big chest is in play. So let's see if that comes up with anything.
Yep, the big chest, you have the roller room, and you have Laser Bridge as well as Helmasaur. Now, the real troll is if the vanilla Big Key chest holds something important. I've had that happen before, and I skipped it.
No, it's unfortunately in this case it's by force, not by choice. So he just has to hope that that isn't anything important.
Yep. Technically, going to the back like this is a sequence break in terms of defeating Trinex. Oh, another big key.
There's our Mire key. I had a feeling we'd be seeing that soon.
So we just need the GT big key, and there is the slimmest of chances that boots could be required. But again, slim. Pedestal Dream is not dead yet, folks.
Yep, it depends on if we find the Tower of Hera big key here.
Tower of Hera big key could be inside GT as well. Don't forget that.
Oh, that's a good point. If the GT big key's on pedestal, then Tower of Hera big key could be in Ganon's tower, requiring you to have to complete it. Oh, that is evil beyond words. But let's find out. HexMage now starting his play on the laser bridge. We find a red potion to start off. So there's bottle number 3. And Butter Sword!
You want to do some cooking? Ooh, blowing a blue potion for the magic from it. That stings a little.
I was also running low on health, so he kind of didn't have a choice there. Another big 20. Now to the last chest. Small key. Oh, there's the other small key.
Vanilla.
Rock. He could have checked that one chest.
That one chest could be GT big key or Hera big key too for GT big key.
Oh, that's just wrong. That is just wrong.
That's hilarious is what that is. That's Keysanity for you.
Now he's going to have to make a decision whether or not he wants to go back for that chest.
Yep, he knows Mire is completable. Mire has 8 or 9 items, I think it is. But yeah, it's definitely, don't forget to switch, there you go. Definitely not what you want to see right there. But it does mean that clearing Turtle Rock was within the logic in one visit by the time he got here.
Very quick early start there for Trinex, and with that Butter Sword, this third phase should be no trouble whatsoever.
Doesn't quite get the double hit, but still real quick before it even gets to turn around much.
All right, what does the snake drop? As he gets his 6th crystal here, just a heart container.
Yep, and in chat, Sierra, that was vanilla small key location. That last chest on Laser Bridge is the vanilla small key.
Is this even randomized?
Nope, he is dipping out. He knows it's there. He doesn't care. He wants to go straight to Mire. Logically speaking, even if Mire doesn't turn up the big key, you have a higher statistical chance of it being within Ganon's tower itself. Yep, right on over to Ether. Unfortunately, we went or Bird Talk because he killed it.
Shame.
On the upside, he retained all of his health. So this entrance room, even without boots, should be relatively quick thanks to sword beams. Hello, Demon. Demon's going for the basement.
Oh, here we go. Big moment of truth here. I've always said, when it comes to these randomizer races, it's not just about execution, but it's about what routes you take, what gambles do you make, which ones pay off. This could be the critical moment that determines who has the lead here.
And HexMage is making the smart Mire clear, having small keys when you enter. It's just a little bit quicker to go left first and then work your way towards the back.
And he's going to make a stop off and check this chest up here. And just gets triple bombs.
Nope, there's one item and one item only he hopes to find and hopes to find it soon.
Yep, he is simply looking for the GT big key. All right, let's see what Demon finds. Just
Nope.
triple bombs. HexMage finding a compass to eastern. Well, that's completely garbage.
Yep. So Demon will be heading on over to Turtle Rock. Question is, does he check the vanilla big key chest? Or does he go straight to the back too?
He's probably going to end up doing the same thing HexMage did, worrying that he won't find that other key, so he's going to skip it and then realize he could have checked it.
I can see that.
HexMage now sitting through the most boring cutscene in the game.
You don't even get to see what's going on. You just have to listen.
And finds just a big 20 at the vanilla big key chest.
Demon going all the way onto that pedestal there. Make sure he gets the medallion activated properly.
He has half magic, but the last thing you want to do is waste magic when you don't have to.
Oh, yeah, nothing more disastrous than thinking you're on it and you're not quite. Game's very generous with that, though, in terms of where you are to activate it.
That's very true. I've almost never seen anybody miss that. All right, HexMage now heading over to the big chest here in Misery Mire. Gonna hook shot across, and he's gonna hope to find something here. He hasn't found much yet, unfortunately, and just a piece of heart.
And rupees.
Oof.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Mire at the moment.
No, it's not. Compass to Thieves Town, again, completely useless for him. Ugh.
An interesting fact, besides, what is it, 3 items still within Hera, our runners have checked all but 30-something locations at this point. Looks like Hex is going to do the whole hook shot on over and then all to reset yourself here. Very
Makes
handy
sense.
method.
Indeed, just another piece of heart. So literally, unless Vitreous dropped something, there was nothing in Mire.
Except the crystal and opening up the Pyramid Fairy. But,
that brings up a good question. Will they check that before going up to GT?
I have no idea. It's only 2 items. You have 22, technically 21 available to you inside of GT, since still no boots. Silver Arrow Vitreous. Love it.
Oh yeah, silvers on Vitreous makes him an absolute joke. Each eyeball taken out in one shot, and then 2 for the big ball. It's over very quickly.
Yep. Demon having a few issues here with the chain chomps. Realizing you can't use invincibility and have the cane out at the same time. And he's... Ooh.
Cutting it close there.
Yep. He's being extra safe, though. I don't... Oh! He deactivated the cane.
Enough. But
Oh.
technically he does have that fairy in a bottle, so that saved him there. But unfortunately, that means he will have it that later if he runs into any trouble with Ganon. Meanwhile, HexMage on to Vitreous. As you can see, 1 shot, 1 kill for each of those tiny eyeballs.
Oh, that's 1 arrow miss.
And that's all he's missing. Ooh, takes a direct shot from the lightning blast. But now, 1, 2, dead.
And Vidi has...
The red meringue.
Yep. So what play do you make next, Hex? You got GT open, but you still have the Pyramid Fairy.
And he still has to do Tower of Hera Basement. He hasn't checked that yet either.
No, but I mean, I don't think he would do that unless he were to go towards GT, so... He's thinking. What you doing, Demon, here? You going in? Nope. Demon's also electing to skip the chest in T-Rock.
And HexMage is making the play to Ganon's Tower. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a game. There are 22 possible locations inside of Ganon's Tower. 23, actually, in this case, where that big key could be. If you think it is not in Ganon's Tower, it is 0. Otherwise, give me a number between 1 and 22 where you think that key is going to be hiding.
I already see 1 0, 2 0, 3 0. Some 4 or 5 zeros. Quite a few zeros. I think people want to see the Hera big key come out of GT and lead to a blind pedestal pull.
I don't blame him. I like the idea, but we'll see.
So Demon's getting his Mimic Cave check and Ether Medallion out the way. No, Hex is, for a moment there, I thought Hex was headed over to Hera.
Yep, decided, nope, I need to go to GT instead. I've got access to it, might as well check it.
Yep, you kind of need to be in the Dark World first, Hex, don't forget.
A lot of people also calling for GT big key on torch and boots on pedestal.
Yep. At this point in time, it is a highly likely chance that the Ganon's Tower big key is Ganon Tower locked. We are uncertain of 3 items. That is it. Just 3 items prior to GT. So Pyramid Fairy has 2. And the 1 chest in Turtle Rock that both runners skipped is our 3rd. And we've seen everything else in the game beyond that.
And here we go. HexMage now heading into Ganon's Tower. Let's begin the chest count, folks. Let's see if and when we find it.
Yeah, he's probably hoping for a quick one if it's in here.
300 in chest 1, 5 bomb upgrade in chest 2. He's going to go ahead and go right side. Will he do tower over immediately, or is he going to go straight through and just save that for last? He's going straight through.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Tile Room is quite the time sink. 1 item when you could be pretty much partway through the left side by the time you finally check it.
Into a little bit of trouble with that last torch there, but he gets through.
Yep.
Demon actually has the right shield, checking that checking laser bridge with a lot less trouble than HexMage had earlier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, Demon, how about a vanilla key for you?
Number 3 is a heart. Number 4, 5 rupees. Number 5, piece of heart. Number 6, small key to Ice Palace.
Demon is going back for that chest. He's not that far away from it. He's going for it.
Oh, this could be a big play for him. This turns out to be something. HexMage now heading to the left side. Book on torch!
Oh, wow.
That is not a tease. I do not know what is.
Wow. Come on, Demon, show us the goods.
This could be a turning point if this is something in this chest.
Already
boots! What?
Boots! Wow!
All right. Number 8 was number 8 and 9 have been checked. Number 10, piece of heart. Number 11, 10 bomb upgrade. But think about this. We now know where the boots are. We now know where the book is. Oh, the trolling. The trolling! Number 12, 5 arrow upgrade.
Yep, he's running through these places pretty quick. And it's still a bit early to say it, but it could be. You know, we've seen Hex took a little bit of a lead early on, and he's managed to maintain a couple of minutes over Demon. But those boots in the book, if the big key is not at GT, could be the difference between the two and tilt the favor of balance. Keysanity is definitely one of those that it's not over until it's truly over.
Indeed. It's not over till they done. Number 13, piece of heart. Oh, this is looking bad for HexMage.
Yep. Boots Besides unlocking the book, also unlock 2 overworld locations that are real quick to check from Sanctuary. Entering the randomizer room.
Yeah, let's see what we find here. Number 14, triple bombs. Number 15, compass to Tower of Hera. Number 16, big 20. Number 17, heart container.
Only 5 items left. Bob, 3 at Ice Armos, and the tile room. It's looking more and more likely you should have gone back for those boots, Hex.
Oh, this is getting evil, and I love it.
Because we've yet to see anything in GT that actually points towards an item. Wiggums, the reason Hex could have skipped that chest is because the 4th and final Turtle Rock small key was located at the end of Laser Bridge. They opted to skip the big chest due to the fact that using the key there would have locked them out from Trinex at that time. Ooh, Hex though. Pulling out the ether. All you gotta do is do a quick bomb jump. It's only a 2 gap. It's really easy to do.
Yeah, but he doesn't feel confident of that, so he's gonna do this the hard way.
There's also the torch you can light with the fire rod. And I think Hex just realized that. Yep, there you gotta keep it on screen first. There you go. This room without boots is quite amusing. Alright, the bomb jump gap here is only 1 tile wide, which is why it's an extremely generous one to do if you do it.
Yep. Say hi to Bob, everybody. And mushroom!
Oh, we see the sanctuary. We see the boots.
Demon now gonna check King's Tomb and Bonk Cave. Hex having a little bit of trouble with these ice armos here. He's not getting his shots lined up properly, but he gets through. All right, 19, big 20. 20, 10 arrow upgrade, 21, big 20. It's down to tile room.
If it's not tile room, then mushroom. Back to Turtle Rock for the boots. He still has the Ice Palace big chest, which we know is nothing because he messed up the hookshot clips on both blocks.
Demon now has a chance. He still has to finish up both Eastern and Mire, but if he finds that GT big key first, this could be his chance to catch up. What's in the Bonk Cave? Small key to GT. Not what he was hoping for there.
Actually, I do believe Demon did finish off Eastern. It's only Mire that he's behind at this point. And again, there is also the Pyramid Fairy to check too. Hex did not attempt it. He banked on GT holding the key. And without the boots from TR, he can't even get all the value out of GT. Yep, and Final Flame points out that Hex could very well need that small key. It's not GT.
It's not GT, so if you get 0, you win! Oh my! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a race!
And Final Flame pointed out, the GT small key that is boot locked is very much required at this point. Because unless another small key pops up during the climb, I believe there's still one outstanding small key, then he will not have the keys to climb the tower.
Also, Demon gracing us with a bird toss there, going into Misery Mire.
Yep.
Nice setup there for HexMage, getting his coffee break strats in.
Yep. So, if Hex is lucky, the mushroom turns it up. If he is unlucky, he has to go back to Turtle Rock, get the boots, get the book. And even then, the book is not guaranteed to lead directly to it. It could lead him to Hera, to the pedestal.
Ooh. This is the kind of races we live for, folks. Just when you think it's in the bag, that one move can change the whole outcome.
Yep, this is a typical Keysanity seed. Dark World access 8 minutes in, and then grabbing at every possible thing, hoping to find the end. Hex, no, don't flute. Don't flute, Hex. He fluted.
He doesn't know. He's going to turn in his mushroom and hope that pays off.
Time-wise, it is quicker, but if it is boot-locked, Hex, the longer he puts it off, the more chance Demon gets to play catch-up. Though, with that GT clear ahead of him...
Oh, and it's only a 5-bomb upgrade. HexMage has not made the right call. It's back to Turtle Rock for you, buddy.
Still has a chance of Pyramid Fairy, but it does look like it is a boot-locked item. Oh, he's going back to Ice Palace first.
Oh, no!
Oh.
Demon has a big chance here to catch up.
Wow. So for those of you who missed it, on his initial dip into Ice Palace, Hex had the big key. However, he bomb jumped the gap, so whenever he came back, he had to hookshot clip. He failed both chances to hookshot clip. And rather than dropping down the floor and going back up, he just went straight to Gold Stair and skipped it. But no, he's decided to... What are you... you going back to Turtle Rock then instead, Hex? What you doing, man? And yes, at 2 hours and 7 minutes into the seed, the pedestal is very much still alive and kicking. Why did you choose, after standing right outside in front of ice, you instead jump back over here to the dark world?
He's lost. He doesn't know where to go. He's trying to figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, he knew Ice Palace as an item, and then he immediately dipped back out. So he's got to be going back to Turtle Rock. Yeah, that's a pretty big time waste to skip out Turtle Rock and then go to Ice and add his entrance Mire back. Still, I mean, it's going to turn up an item that he wants, that's for sure. Yep, and as pointed out in chat, he could be making decisions based upon what he sees, or in this case, does not see in the IRC chat, in terms of his opponent dunning or not. But I'm not positive. It'd have to be something we ask.
Thankfully, he won't be too disappointed once he gets through all this and finds out the boots are waiting for him. It probably will frustrate him a little bit knowing he still has places to check, but at least he knows he didn't leave this behind.
Yep, I expect to see him go right and pick up that book immediately after. So Demon is catching up, but still going to be a little bit of a time gap. Das Boots!
Das Boot!
Did he just save him? He saved and quit!
Well, what else was he gonna
X! Mirror out. And go back for the book.
do? Well, maybe he's gonna check Pyramid. No, he's out of the Sanctuary. Oh, he's checking King's Tomb and Bonk Cave.
Yep, which we know is nothing, and neither runner has checked Pyramid because, well, Demon hasn't been able to yet. Hex definitely has the lead advantage at this point. After this, I expect he would do Pyramid, but honestly, I would go for the book and GT before I would go back into Ice. Library was rupees or something useless.
Yeah, it was big 20.
So, sorry to break it to you, Hex, but not the right play. Though he may need that small key, though.
Yeah, but look what Demon's doing. Demon is immediately going to check Pyramid Fairy. This could be a moment of truth here.
And Hex is going back up for the book.
Yep, he's going to waste time doing that. If the big key is in the Pyramid Fairy, Hex may have just lost this race.
Yep. Keysanity, it's not over till it's over. You can have the lead for 3 minutes or 2 hours, and you're not guaranteed to win or lose.
All right, folks, moment of truth. Who is going to take the lead? Is Demon going to find the big key in the Pyramid Fairy, or is HexMage going to be on the right track grabbing the book from Ganon's Tower?
Dead rocked.
Rocked again!
I gotta imagine Hex is just freaking out about now.
Oh, you know he is. You gotta feel like he thinks Demon could have done any second now, and he may be on the right track to believe in that. And we find Map to Turtle Rock. And
Oh!
GT Big Key in the Pyramid Fairy!
GT was never required.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would check your watches at this time, or your phones, or whatever timekeeping device you have, you will see that the current time is showing it's Gomo time.
He just got knocked out of the bird's path, though. That's kind of funny. But,
oh, that has got to be humiliating for HexMage, and he doesn't even know it yet. He could get the key right now, but he's going to waste time getting the book, and he's going to kick himself when he finds out he didn't need it.
What'd be worse is if Ether Tablet came up, Hera Big Key.
Oh, and he's going to check it right now.
Yep.
All right.
And sent him on a goose chase.
What's it going to be? What's on this tablet? He checks it. It's a small key. Oh, Misery Mire's small key. Okay. We're okay for now. He's still got Bombo's tablet, but he might check Pyramid Fairy first before he checks that. Oh, to think how quicker this fight would have been if HexMage had simply just checked. Oh, he's checking Bombos first.
Oh,
this could be bad.
Considering what we know everything is, there is a 1 in 6 chance this is the Hera Big Key. Though I do believe at this point in time he would check Pyramid Fairy before even considering Hera or the pedestal.
Yeah, but unfortunately it might be too late because Demon's already entering Ganon's Tower as we speak, and he won't have to check anything. He's just going straight up.
Oh, yeah.
This is Demon's race to lose.
I do agree with that.
Bombos? Justify bomb upgrade. Woo! That is close. I think we'll be okay. I think he has a slim chance here. It's very slim. If Demon gets trolled by Trolldorm 2 or Ganon, HexMage could still come back from this, but it's not looking good.
Hex, what? He's going to Ice Palace.
No! No!
He's headed over to Ice Palace for some reason.
Oh, why are you forgetting the Pyramid Fairy? Hex, what are you doing?
Oh boy.
Oh, you know we're gonna have to ask him about this when we pull him in. If he's even willing to do an interview after this.
My heart bleeds for him.
As does I. All right, so Demon now working his way up the gauntlet again with Hex making this very critical error. I don't see Demon losing this, even if he does have mistakes. Oh, it's almost heartbreaking to watch this because you know Hex was doing so good. He had such a lead, and then he just made one critical error and missed one important spot, and he just keeps forgetting to check it.
Yep. Hex had the lead for most of the 2 hours and 15 minutes of this run, up until about 10 minutes ago.
Demon getting gonna get at least a 2 cycle out of this. Very nicely done there.
Kippy, HexMage picked up the GT small key from Bonk Rocks, so he set on keys.
And all that for a piece of heart, and oh, you could tell. You could just see him standing there going, really? I did all this for nothing? Are you kidding me?
Hera Big Key, John TD, is going to be somewhere on this GT climb.
It has to be, because we've checked everything else. Oh, you can feel the frustration coming from Hex.
Yeah, the Mire first Hex. I think he finally realized it, too.
Yeah. I think J-Lo says it right. He's seriously on tilt right now. Because he knows by now Demon is probably on his way up, which he is.
No, I think Hex has completely forgotten about the pyramid.
Oh my god, I think you're right. He's trying to remap, like, what have I missed? And he doesn't realize there's one area that he forgot to check. He doesn't know it's sitting there. That is brutal. Like, he was really counting on the key being in that big chest. And he doesn't know. Oh my god, he doesn't know.
Nah, he's... I'm trying to think of where he's going. I mean, White World.
Yeah, what hasn't he checked yet?
He's checking what's at Lumberjack.
He's hoping. Thankfully, he'll be relieved to know that there's not there. But he's also going to be this frustrated to figure out what else has he missed. And meanwhile, Demon finishing off Toldorm 2, no trouble whatsoever. Will he check the inevitable conclusion? He will. There's the big 20. So that means the Hera Big Key had to be one of those 3 chests he passed up.
Yep. Yeah, Hex went full tilt, and I don't think he recovered. I think he's about to go check what's at Pedestal.
I think he is, too. Yeah, that's exactly where he's going. Oh, if the Tower of Hera Key's at Pedestal, that's going to throw him off.
That would be...
It can't be.
No, it can't.
No, it can't be. I forgot. You need...
Maybe in future versions of Logic, you can... It's not required behind itself, but not yet.
All right, what is on the pedestal?
The small key of evil's bane. The final GT key.
Yep. Now he's really confused. And Demon now taking out Agatu. Very nicely done. And now it's time for the big pig.
Mmm. I kind of want a pork sandwich for lunch now.
Oh, God. Now you're making me hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. I need to eat after this.
Yeah, Hex has... He's drawn a blank. He doesn't know. He doesn't realize it. That's heartbreaking because he was on such a roll. Execution was on point. He made good routing calls. The seed was very linear. It did not allow for much in the way of deviation with how the keys were. But this is heartbreaking. This is not how you want a race to end up. Win or lose.
I think he just finally realized it.
Yeah, I think too.
Unfortunately, now it's too little too late. Demon is, unless he takes a dozen falls from Ganon, HexMage can't catch up now.
Yeah.
Though I do agree with the chat. Give HexMage a follow, man. He's put on a heck of a show for you guys. He deserves some love after this humiliation.
Yeah, both of these runners do, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely no love lost for DemonRHK. He's put on a great show as well. And I don't even think he's going to be too satisfied knowing he lost simply because of like one error like that.
Nah. Like I said, win or lose, it's definitely heartbreaking whenever you win or lose as a result of just a gross mistake. But he was having some trouble there with the final bit of Ganon.
Just be careful not to die here. Gets that shot off. And we've
There
got
it is.
bacon.
Yep. And Hex is like, yeah, this is the last place in the game. He's checked all but 7 items. These are 2 of them.
Indeed, DemonRHK now finishing with official SRL time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 19 seconds, just as HexMage finds the key.
Yep. And he is not very happy about that. I don't blame him. But it looks like he's going to stick with it and at least finish.
Alrighty then. And it looks like Demon will be joining us here shortly for an interview, so we'll be talking with him shortly about this. Oh man, but what a race.
It was so great, and then whenever it turned out that HexMage forgot Pyramid Fairy, it was heartbreaking.
Indeed.
Okay, and Demon's here with us. Congratulations.
Thanks. So how you feeling about that seed?
You know, for being the 220, it didn't feel bad. I always felt like I had something to do. The only time locations really started to dry up was for the Titans and the Mire. But it really didn't feel that bad for being as much of a completionist seed as it was.
Yeah, actually, the turning point in this seed, because here's the honest truth. You were behind for a good chunk of this race. The thing that threw your opponent HexMage off was that GT big key. He completely forgot Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, don't tell me you dove GT first. Oh, no.
He did.
Yeah, I only had 1 or 2 really big mistakes, I felt like dying in Spike Cave. But other than that, I mean, I was running slow, but it really it was just kind of consistent. Probably the big real thing that threw me off was the seed instantly opened up with, hey, here's a lamp, here's Cave, guess what? And then I jumped down in the back of Escape and find the hammer, and I'm completely confused.
Yeah, you had Dark World access so early. It wasn't so much items that limited you to almost a linear path, really. It was the keys that just kind of gave you, okay, now here's another key, so you can go here now.
Yeah, I really felt bad about having. I'm like, oh man, I gotta dive, Ice Palace as a pendant that's not green, but then it just kind of paid off with everything, and then just went from there. It really was the keys, and it didn't seem like it was gonna be that way early because I went in the hype cave and found like 2 bigs and I think it was 2 bigs in the Swamp Palace small or something.
It was Thieves Town was a nice early open dungeon in terms of its keys.
And then there was Vanilla Big Key inside of Skullwoods, Vanilla Big Key and Vanilla Small Key inside of Turtle Rock, which made me Mire to go check that last chest because I didn't want to leave it.
Yep. Boots ended up not being required. But Hex, he got the key and just trekked straight on, continued to try next. Ended up going back for it. Like we said, unfortunately, he forgot Pyramid Fairy. And so he cleared all of GT. He messed up the hookshot clips to the Ice Palace big chest and skipped it, so he went back there. He pulled the mushroom out of GT and went and turned it in. He actually had about a 5 to 7 minute lead or so for quite a while, up until that point, pretty much.
Yeah, I can just imagine, because what was still left in GT? I mean, the book was in there, Hera's big key was in there.
Hera's big key was on the Ascent. One of the chests that you skipped was the big key.
Okay.
Yeah, because we literally checked. Hex has checked everything else. Both tablets were checked. Pedestal was checked. All the other overworld locations were checked. It had to be in the gauntlet.
Yeah, Hex, if my math is right, is something like 208, 209, and 216. I think he picked up most overworld items, so it's, yeah.
Man, that's rough.
Yep, he's sticking with it. He's getting through the final room, about to head into Land Mole. It's getting beat up pretty well, though, unfortunately, and he's got to be real careful. I'm sure the powder's about to come out here.
No, he's gunning it.
Whoa.
You brave soul.
Lord. He still has the fairy, fortunately.
Luckily for him.
Hex did not pick up the shield that was on Zora, or not for Zora, but the catfish. Yeah, he skipped that shield.
He checked it, but when he saw it was a shield, he skipped it.
Yeah, I don't blame him for skipping it, but I'll take every advantage I can get. I mean, having Fire Shield against Blind helped, and then having Mire for Laser Bridge.
Yeah, it definitely saved you some time, and combined, the errors he made were one thing, but your execution combined with that was what helped you turn this race around. Because I remember seeing that you were just completely, while we were watching him, I saw you were just completely nailing every run, part of the run, pretty well executed.
Yep, and does he? Well, there's the key he needs. And it looks like he's just going to go and skip the chest at this point. He just wants to get it done. Don't blame him. One of those two, or the one before, my mind's blanking. Moldorn 2 is where the Hera big key is.
Indeed. Well, while he's finishing that up, why don't we give our audience a rundown on what's going on later today here for this tournament, because we've got a lot of races going on. Currently, right now, over on Speed Gaming, we actually have a quad race between Someone325 and Mentospan 8, as well as Malagord versus RB89. In about half an hour or 20 minutes or so, we've got Terra versus Dan Carnate. At 3, over on Speed Gaming 2, we have Haha Cell versus T-Stew 14. And on Speed Gaming 4 at 4:30, we have Octobocker versus Chauncey J. 7 p.m., we have a quad race, Fantasia versus Yoshi348, as well as Webjepster and Dragon Master 0283. We also, at 8 o'clock, we have Mikan's Box versus Trank89. And we have a quad race, Gland versus Synac, as well as Sir Beater of Ours versus Max Ketchums. 9 p.m., we have Wolfie83 versus DVOXS, as well as Venoxus93 and Just Defend. That's also a quad race. And finally, at 10 p.m. on Speed Gaming 2, we have Voolagin and Buckshot Boo 24, as well as Trojan Dude 12 and D2 Kemps, and another quad race. So we're going to have more than enough races for you guys just today alone to keep you guys busy.
Yep. It's not quite a 21 race day like it was yesterday, but there's still quite a few going on.
Well, there are a few other races, but a lot of those are probably not going to get streamed because they're 0-3 races, so they're basically complete. I think a lot of those may even be canceled because of that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, they're still trying to get everything streamed, but the ones that are 3-0, 2-1 get the just because they're still in the running. Exactly. Demon's item count 170 to 216, which is pretty high considering he was able to skip all the GT.
And HexMage now taking out Aga 2. It's time for him to get his bacon at last. He's probably finally relieved to have this over.
Yeah. Demon, was there any other thoughts you wanted to say about that specific seed, the race itself, what have you?
No, just that, it was definitely an interesting seed. It wasn't nearly as trolly as I was expecting it to be, even though it, was pretty, 100% of the completion, especially before Hex. But, GG to him and go to race. It's just some of the times the tough breaks in the locations you don't check.
Well, we definitely appreciate you running here. Also, again, shout out to, of course, Demon and HexMage, as well as our tracker, Jixon, and, of course, myself and my co-commentator, Space Cowboy. Cowboy, it has been a pleasure working with you this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Commentating these things is a lot more fun than watching. Or, excuse me, commentating is a lot more fun than playing them. Usually.
Yeah.
I see people are putting the runners and commentator commands in chat. Definitely make sure to give these runners a follow. Both of them put on an excellent race considering for the seed was. And even though, unfortunately, one memory lapse ended in heartbreak for Hex, still fantastic time. If you're feeling up to it, we had Jixon on the tracking, did a very solid job. Tracking these are definitely not an easy thing to do. I mean, I have issues just tracking my own when I'm running myself, so. And then again, fantastic commentary from Shades. I'm Space Cowboy 2011. And since there's no races coming up on this channel, we do have some time once Hex gets these final arrows in to see if he'd like to comment in chat as well.
This should be his last hit right there. There we go. Nice double on that one. Nicely done.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Strong finish. And he stuck with it too, gotta say.
And indeed, and actually he is in the channel right now as the restream enters the room with an official SRL time of 2:33:12. HexMage GG.
Yeah, I forgot a location, which turned out that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking to see that. You picked the right calls. It was a pretty linear seed, as I'm sure you noticed, but you picked some of the right calls at the right times, and it put you ahead until pretty much you had GT open.
Yeah. There were so many locations the key could still be. I thought GT was probably the most likely one. And then I completely forgot about the Fat Fairy, which cost me so much time.
And we didn't blame you for making the play up to GT, because it's 22 items, 21 because you didn't have the boots.
And then I found the boots and went back for the last one.
Yeah, it became a bit obvious you got tilted there whenever the key didn't turn up in GT.
Well, that wasn't the point where I got tilted. The point where I got tilted was when I opened the Ice Palace chest and didn't find the big key to Hera. because I thought there had to be some really convoluted thing that was that my opponent hadn't found either. So it had to be like boots in the big key chest in Turtle Rock, going to somewhere that would get me the Hera big key, which would get me into Hera, which would get me pedestal, which would have gotten me the GT big key. Except it wasn't that. I was just far ahead and forgot the location.
It
Yeah,
happens, man.
unfortunately.
I probably would have done the same thing myself, and that's the reason why I'm not in this tournament and I'm just commentating, because I probably would have goofed up something fierce like that as well. But hey, you know what? You made it to the end. You finished up, and I still say anything under 3 hours, you're still doing decent.
Yeah, it's not bad. Just getting almost 100% seed in 2 hours 33.
Yeah, well,
But,
actually, it's probably a good thing that you didn't have to go to Hera. As far as we could tell, the Hera big key had to be in the gauntlet because you checked everything else. So that's the only place it could have been.
There's like, I forgot, let's see. Yeah, I checked 4 chests that are left.
Yeah, it was literally 3 items inside of Hera, and it was 4 in the gauntlet and climb.
Yeah, that I didn't check.
Yeah. You didn't pick up a few items, so the item counter will show a little bit lower, but you definitely were 200 something.
Oh, we can check. We can just speed this up.
Yeah, but how did you feel about the whenever you messed up those the hookshot clips in the Ice Palace the first time you were in?
Well, the first time was, okay, I'll just hope it's nothing. But when I went back there to check again, I was like, oh god, is this gonna cost me the race?
Yeah, because unfortunately there's no quick way to get back to that chest to do that clip again since you had bomb jumped.
Yeah. 190. I think that's the highest I've ever gotten in a race.
Yeah, you passed a lot of items along the way, so you definitely saw 200 something locations.
Oh, I saw 209.
Yep.
Because there's 7 locations left. Because I know it's on the pedestal. It's the last GT key.
Yeah.
Oh well. Better luck next tournament. Can't even finish positive in this one anymore. Oh well.
Oh, don't beat yourself up over it. Again, you got 1 win, all right? So that's still probably better than I would have done. So don't hold your head up high, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 1-3 as well. Maybe we'll play in the final week or something, you know?
Okay, then I'll beat you in the final week. Go 2-3.
There you go. There's something to look forward to, right?
Oh, well, I have to jet because I have to be somewhere else in like 15 minutes. So, have fun, guys. Was a nice.
No
race.
problem. Thank you for the race.
Appreciate you running for us, my friend. But in the meantime, I think it's time we wrap things up here on our end as well. Again, make sure you give all of our both of our runners a follow on here, as well as our tracker, Jixon, and of course myself and Space Cowboy. In the meantime, my name is The Shades, and as I always like to say, rock on, guys.
Yep, Space Cowboy 2011 signing off. Y'all enjoy the rest of the day. Take care.